Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dreadful Dialogue, a podcast where we chat about all things horror. My name's Alyse. Today, of course, my wonderful co-host Kristen is with me.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. We're reunited and it feels so good.
Yeah, I mean, to the listeners, it doesn't sound like a break, but
Right.
we took kind of a spring break, so
Yeah.
here we are, which kind of goes with our movie now that I think about it, because it's a movie that I don't know if
Exactly.
they're on summer break or spring break, but they're on some sort of break, or maybe I feel like it's the end of school, right? Because the girl says she's gonna have an internship. Anyway,
Right.
it's a break, whatever. It's a school break, and they're young adults. So
Yeah.
before we tell the listeners the actual movie that we're gonna watch, I want to
Okay.
ask you some questions, okay?
Yeah.
Let's do a little soul searching, and your answers are going to help me determine if you would be a final girl or an opening credits victim, okay, in this movie.
Oh, well, okay. I'm ready.
Okay, does offense automatically mean you're on someone's property, or is it just a suggestion?
Somebody's property.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Would you ever pitch a tent in a random unmarked forest instead of a designated campsite?
No, and I would never go camping.
I grew up camping, and I was in the military. Now I'm like a bougie camper. I'm like, I have a trailer. Like, I can't be going out in
Right.
the middle of nowhere. Like, I can't do that.
I'm not built for the outdoors. Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna move on. You're gonna move on. You're not just gonna be an opening credits, kill. Um,
Oh, good.
but let's say for whatever reason you do find a spot, okay, and you have to camp here, and it smells like a rotting graveyard. Do you pack up, or do you crack open a beer and party until 2 a.m.?
I am leaving immediately.
You're definitely
Immediately.
You're
Okay?
definitely surviving, because these are all the red flags that the characters in our movie that we're covering, they're just blowing through these red flags, okay?
Yeah.
Um, let's say you stay at this campsite, you party all night, you wake up. Do you go searching for that smell? The
No,
source of
I
it, I should say.
leave.
I mean, and if your car
You
breaks
leave.
down, would you hop into a pickup truck filled with bloody animal carcasses just to get a ride to town?
No,
Yeah, I'd probably walk it up.
no.
I'm gonna Chevrolet. I'm gonna batamobile, pata like Spanish batamobile. We say.
Like, I'm not a stew nod. I just would not.
Yeah, yeah.
The whole time, yeah, anyway.
Would you
So you
snoop in?
wanna tell?
Yeah,
Oh, go
are
ahead.
you allowed to snoop? Okay, a few more before we get in, before we drop
Yes,
it.
yes.
Is it okay to snoop around a stranger's house?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, yeah.
Am
Okay.
I nosy? A little, but I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. And then if you realize, and this is gonna help our listeners figure it out if they haven't figured out the movie, because this could be the plot of several movies, right? So
Mhm.
horror has a lot of reoccurring tropes, reoccurring storylines. If you walk into
Right.
a public building and you realize the staff, quote unquote, are just mannequins, do you stay or do you take a selfie?
I'd be like, "Nah."
I probably would take a selfie before I booked it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So our listeners couldn't probably take a selfie because this movie is taking us back to 2005. We are talking about the rated R movie House of Wax. And notice I
Yeah,
said 2005, so it's not the original. This is a remake.
yeah. This is an interesting one. I have a synopsis if you would like
Yes, hit us with
hear
it.
one.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So, in the 2005 horror film House of Wax, a group of friends on a road trip becomes stranded in the eerie, deserted town of Ambrose, Louisiana. They discover the town's attraction, Trudy's House of Wax, features terrifying, realistic wax figures, which are actually corpses coated in wax by local twins to create a tourist death trap.
Oh.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, yeah. I've driven through
Yeah.
some towns and I'm like, that looks interesting, but I'm also like, I don't want to get murdered. I don't want to get hurt.
Right. Yeah. What what was your first like impression when you saw this town?
It gave me the fact that it's like completely empty would give you the creeps, right?
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
like eerie. Granted, the purveyors of the town, the brothers, again, spoiler alert, we're giving this away, and usually we're going to be
Oh,
jumping
yeah.
around. They're luring people to this town, and then they're turning them into wax figures. And I guess maybe it wouldn't have been as eerie because it was eerie, but they got away with it because the guy's like, "Oh, we're at a funeral right now," and like, so maybe like the whole town was there.
Yeah.
I guess that was like that's how they were able to look past that red flag.
Right.
But
And, like, the movie theater too, but, yeah, this town was wild. I would not have stopped
no,
at all. No.
or I would have
Mm-mm.
just when he offered them because they're after they get lured there and they're trying to get a fan belt. I would have just he was like, "Oh, I found a size," and he said it was a 16 and he needed a size 15. I'm no mechanic. I would have just tried to make it work. Like, I'm gonna take this one. Here's your cash. I'm out. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not going to your
goodbye.
house. Yeah. Did you
Goodbye.
watch this in the movie theater?
I did. I
Really?
did.
Do you remember it?
Yeah. I do remember it, but I forgot how much I really liked it and how long it is.
It's
Like, this movie's almost 2 hours.
it is. It's really long. It felt long. It kind of drags at a few points. Like, I think they could have
Yeah.
the beginning of the movie, they kind of like dragged some of it out. It took a while to like, let's get to something now. But then it
Yeah,
got
I
really
think
fun.
it did. I think it took until at least, like, the 35-minute mark for it to really start, and then, yeah, there were some other scenes where I'm like, "This is a little too much," like, it's dragging on, but the cast is good.
Yeah.
The cast is, like, total 2000s, like,
Yes.
royalty.
Yes.
We have is it Alicia, right?
Alyse I
Alicia
think
Cut
is it Alisa or Alicia? I never remember how to say her name.
I never remember. We're
Yeah.
so sorry. Yeah,
Sorry,
Cuthbert.
girl.
Um,
She
we
plays
have the
Carly.
Yes, she's Carly. We have Chad Michael Murray as Nick, her twin brother. We have Brian Van Holt, who plays the evil twins.
Yeah.
And every time I looked at him, I'm like, "You look like Michael C. Hall, Dexter." I'm like,
Oh,
"Why are you
a
giving"
little bit.
he's, like, giving, like,
Yeah.
Dexter vibes
I
there.
can see that.
Yeah. We have the amazing Jared Padalecki, and I've been rewatching Supernatural right now.
Oof.
So this
Love it.
was like this was hitting like the sweet spot. I'm like, "Oh, I'm getting my fix of like my 2000s."
Yeah, for sure, for
Um,
sure.
we have John Abrams, love him. He's a whole vibe. And Paris Hilton.
The queen.
Wow. The queen.
I have a story about when I saw this in the movie theater related to her.
Yes, yes. So, yeah, there's some really good people. Oh, the creepy guy, pickup truck guy is, what, Damon Harriman? I never heard of him before, and then Robert Richard? He has, like, an apostrophe in Richard, so I don't
Mhm.
know how to pronounce that, but he plays Blake, and that's Paris's boyfriend.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff too. I think
Yeah.
was he in Friday Night Lights? I never watched it, but I thought I saw his name.
I thought he was.
The show,
I
like,
have
not the movie. I
Yeah,
think
the
I've only
show,
seen
the
the movie.
show.
I've never watched the show. Everybody talks about how great of a show it was, which I
It's
mean,
a
all of
great
these
show.
a lot of these people were in shows. Alyse Cooper went on to do 24. Chad Michael Murray was in One Tree Hill. Now he's
One
working the
Tree
Lifetime
Hill.
circuit. But yeah, I saw this in the movie theater, and it's funny because I saw it with Paul, with my husband, our producer, and this is when we like just started dating, and we're watching the movie, and I knew Paris was in it, and like I just had to hold it in because I kept wanting to yell her signature thing, and when she died, when she took like she had the metal like what is it, a metal pole that goes
Yeah,
through her,
yeah.
like impales or goes through her. I yelled out, "That's hot!"
That's hot.
And, like, the
So
whole
funny.
movie theater, like, looks at me, and I'm just, like, covering my laugh, and, like, and that I should have known Paul was a keeper when he put up with my shenanigans that early on watching
So
a horror
good.
movie. So, yeah, me and him were, like, reminiscing. He's like, "Yeah, I remember when we watched this one in the theater." I'm like, "Yeah, it was a fun one." She was such an icon of the 2000s, and
She
I
was.
think it
Yeah.
was genius. I thought she did great. Like, I thought she's not a bad actress. She's
No.
entertaining. They totally played up the whole camera aspect because Dalton's character is constantly with, like, a camcorder. Guys, I mean, this is early cell phones. I don't like Sidekick era maybe. I'm not a cell phone expert. So he's got,
Yeah.
like, the camcorder, and it's, like, a reference to her infamous tape. You guys, I'm not gonna go
Oh,
into
yeah,
details on her
yeah.
tape, but
Her
you
corn.
yeah, her corn, there you go. We're gonna call it corn ever since we covered
Troll
Troll
2.
2, yeah, with the infamous, safe wannabe soft corn scene.
Yeah, soft corn.
But I thought
Yeah,
I
that
loved it. And I love that she even when they interview her about it, she still has, like, a great attitude, like, "Yeah, it was
yeah,
fun," like, she knew what she was hired to do. She knew they were gonna tease about her thing, about her video, but
right.
I thought they did it in the most respectful way that they could considering.
Absolutely, absolutely, and you're right, she does have a really good attitude, and what I love about Paris Hilton and what I've, like, come to realize as I've gotten older is, like, the reality star Paris Hilton is a character.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like seeing her shine in this role and, like, rewatching it as a 40-something-year-old woman, I'm like, "You know what? Props to her." I, like, really enjoyed her so much more than I did back then,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
that makes sense.
It
Yeah.
does make sense, and I think about it too, I'm like, I would not want anybody to judge me from my 20s and some of my
No.
shenanigan like, thank goodness there were no now we have cameras in our pockets and our cell phones. Yeah, thank goodness there was none of those. I don't want some of my business out there, so I'm not gonna judge her for,
Course.
like, things she did in her 20s, like, she's an adult now.
No.
She, like, advocates for a lot of things, and
And she's a mom.
okay, I'm not into it. I'm not into her. I've never really seeked out her music, but yeah, I thought it was
No.
good marketing. I guess there was a See Paris Die campaign, and I was trying to remember it. I kept reading about it, but I couldn't really recall it, so I can't go into details, but maybe our listeners know about
Yeah. Yeah, so I remember, like, vaguely where they were like Warner Brothers really played it up. And I remember like when they were playing up that she was going to be in the movie, I was wondering if they were playing it up like the faculty did with Usher when Usher literally was in the movie for 10 minutes, but he was on the poster.
posters and
You know what I mean?
everything, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but they made shirts that say "See Paris Die," and, like, there was, like, a whole cult following that was really into it, and because she was such an icon and she was very, very popular, this movie grossed over $70 million worldwide,
Wow. It had a pretty big budget too. If I recall, I saw 40 million,
right?
but you can see why it had that big budget for the effects. That town, they built that whole town in Australia. So we were talking about the cast, right? And
Yeah,
I love that
Paris.
this cast, and it wasn't so big. Sometimes with some of the teenage movies, you have so many, and I start to like mix them up. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we almost didn't need Dalton, but it was a good amount. It was just a good amount. So let's talk a little bit. I want to talk a little bit more about the storyline, just kind of,
Yeah,
this group of young adults. They want to go to they keep saying the big football game. I'm assuming like a college football game.
that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're road tripping there. They end up really late. They decide to pull off instead of going to a hotel. They pull off the road. This is where some of our red flags start to kick in. Right? They pull off on the road. They just set up a camp. So you don't know where you are. And then they start partying. Somebody shows up and flashes their lights at them. I would have left when that happened. They party,
Absolutely.
and these guys were so mental. They were so dumb. They party so hard that they end up sleeping until 2:30 when they said they needed to wake up in the morning. I'm like, who could sleep in a tent that late? If you've ever gone tent camping, it gets hot in a
Yeah.
tent. It was just this really convoluted. That's why I felt like it was too long. They could have
Yeah.
just hurried up and they somehow end up on the side of the road. They get separated. The group of Paris Hilton, her boyfriend, and Dalton, their buddy, stay behind. Well, Jared Padalecki, which is Wade, and Alyse and Cuthbert's character, Carly, hop in a vehicle with somebody to go get a fan bout. And that's how they end up in this town where the House of Wax is.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I
Yeah.
missed some details in there. That's when they run into this carcass area with all these dead carcasses. The guy they take a ride from is carrying around dead carcasses. But I just wanted to kind of put that out there to make a little more sense when we're getting to some of our scenes.
That guy, by the way, he was creepy AF, and he looked like he was roadkill himself.
Yeah, the road I don't even think they give him do they give him a proper name? I think they say Lester, right? I don't ever think they refer
Yeah.
to him as Lester though. Maybe it's on his shirt. Does he have the mechanic?
Yeah, I
No.
think he has some kind of work shirt. Yeah. I don't know. They never call him by his name, but he looked like roadkill himself, and I would not have gone within 10 feet of that man.
And I blame Wade for all of this. I blame Jared Padalecki because His friends were
This
like,
is
"Look, let's just go. We'll come back. We'll go to the game. We'll come back for your car." Which, spoiler alert, they never make it to the freaking game because they partied too hard in the woods, the shady woods, and then they get stuck in traffic and they turn around anyway.
you
It's the
know,
whole thing.
I'm
Yeah,
with
I
you.
would have gotten the guy's car. It was creepy.
No, and I blame Wade for every single thing that has happened. This is all of his fault.
Yeah.
So, while I'm really sad that poor Jared Padalecki had to be killed, which was wild, by the way, I feel
Yes.
like if we're reviewing the death scenes, I feel like that one was really effed up
Yeah.
and really creepy.
They go and they show the whole process of how they turn him into wax, and then later, like his skin,
Yeah.
is it his or Dalton's skin gets pulled out? Ugh,
It's him. Dalton's like, I'm gonna rescue you, and like peels off
skin.
Wade's cheek, and like you see like the tears
He's
coming out of
still
his eyes, like
alive.
he's still alive. Like, oh Madonna mule. I rather would have would have been happy with like the pole through my head or like decapitated at that fucking point. Like honestly, no, thank you.
Yeah, I thought that
No,
was the
thank
most brutal
you.
kill. I mean, the like I
Yeah,
said, the Paris Hilton one was fun. I thought she fought the hardest, other than for even though she didn't actually survive. But I thought that
yeah,
was the most brutal. But yes, I blame Wade. He didn't make the decision to pull over and stay at this shady place, which I'm thinking that's how they lured them in. They probably messed with their car at night and took the fan belt because they
right.
even took Dalton's camera because he wakes up in the morning. He's like, anybody see my camera? But when he got to that town, they could have avoided a lot. He wanted to snoop. He didn't want to just take the belt. He was all hyped to go to this house of wax. Like I said, there's some people into some
Right.
weird, there's some weird tourist traps out there. Like the biggest ball of twine. If you're on your way to from where I lived at Vegas, there's the alien jerky store. There's these weird roadside things. But if you get the shady vibes, get out of there.
Right. Like I would not have gone through somebody's house like that in a creepy town when Mr. Roadkill brought me there. Like no.
Yeah.
No thanks. So yeah, we blame Wade. Sorry Wade.
Yeah.
You deserve it now.
And then I'm giving Jared Padalecki the L on this one. I think he caused
Yeah.
the demise of himself, Dalton, and eventually Paige and Blake because again they went
Yeah.
ahead, but they go camping and they try to get frisky, and then yeah, they still get killed too. So
Yeah. Blake was pissed off because he was trying to like get it on with Paige
mhm.
and his music kept getting interrupted and that's what killed him. He
Oh
was like,
man.
"Oh, oh my what is it? iPod mini shuffle isn't working."
He had all
Why
the
is
cool
it
tech,
not
girl. He had
working?
the GPS unit that got them that he found this cool shortcut, which was not a great shortcut. It ended up
No.
on they ended up camping. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's kind of to blame too.
Yeah, okay, in retrospect, okay, alright, I'm not gonna it just I think it was Wade's attitude, just and it was
Yeah.
so hard to hate on him because like you said, you're a Supernatural fan, I'm a big
Yeah.
Supernatural fan,
Yeah.
I I it was hard to
I
see him
love
that
that
way,
show.
I'm used to
Yes.
kicking butt and, like, defeating demons and things, but yeah.
Yeah. He was extremely stubborn, but I still love him and he's epic and a legend.
What did you think about some of the, like, body horror, right? We had Achilles tendon, of course, we talked about the face being ripped. Carly's fingers when she's sticking her fingers through the grate because
Oh.
they've hidden her underground and Bo's put a super glue on her lips and she's trying to scream that because her brothers now come looking for her.
Right, right.
And they take, I don't know if it's pliers or I'm not a tools person,
It
but he's
was
like
pliers,
wire
yeah.
cutters and he just cracked me, broke her nail. I was like, oh, like why
Oh.
why does that kind of horror hit different versus you could see somebody driving and they get hit and like their head gets chopped off and you're just like whatever. But like these close up body horrors, like why do they hit so different?
So basically, the way I see it is like there's there hasn't been a person who hasn't had a cut on the back of their ankle or their kid ran them over with a shopping cart or you jam your finger, you close it in a drawer, et cetera, et cetera. So we know what that pain is
Hmm.
already, but seeing it like really be gory and basically defeat a person, you know what I mean? It makes it real.
Yeah.
we know how that pain feels. We're not going to know if we get beheaded. We're
That's
not going to
true.
feel that,
Yeah,
right?
good
Or if we
point.
get impaled, we'll die instantly. So, that lead, that isn't as, I mean, it is intense, but seeing stuff like that, it really grossed me out. And I was eating my lunch when I was watching
Oh,
this.
don't watch
I was
Hostel
like,
then. Have you
yeah,
seen
right?
Hostel? Or some of the Saw movies are that way. This was also talking about the movie. This is a huge thing in 2000s movies, right? It's when a Hostel came out, I think in 2000. Saw came out in the 2000s. There was body
Mhm.
horror movies before, but mainstream ones. You could find some
Yeah.
really horrible, gory basement looking movies that were out
Yeah.
there, but they weren't put in the movie theaters for people to watch. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
when they get her
Don't do
finger,
that.
I'm like, "Oh my god, my finger hurts." Like, yeah, it gets
Right.
me. So if you wanna see some and they're, like, close up when they do these, so it made it interesting.
And I looked it up, and it's actually called the sensory mirror effect,
Huh.
where it's like when they do little things like that, the finger, the Achilles, to give, it's like cringe gore or intimate kind of trauma gore or whatever. Yeah, to make it more personal. And that Achilles tendon, though, going back to that real quick, I know that pain because last year I went I went
I'm
to
already
see
covering
Green,
my mouth before you're telling the story.
or no, it wasn't last year, the year before, in 2024, I went to go see Green Day with my friend, and, I'm old, and I shouldn't be in a mosh pit, but I was, and
Nice.
I from jumping up and down because I'm old and not built for athletics, I didn't tear it, but I strained my Achilles tendon so bad that I had to be in a brace for 3 weeks, and I could barely walk. So just that minor injury alone almost took me out. So I was having flashbacks. I was like, "Oh, no."
Oh my
But
god.
anyway, yeah,
Yeah, I don't
gross.
think I've ever hurt my Achilles. I have a hand injury. I won't go into details, like, my hand got crushed by something at work, and it still doesn't function properly to this day.
Oh,
So I have sympathy when I see people with things that
yeah.
happen to their hand. My brother always teases me from the movie Casino where they smushed the guy's hand. He's like, "Look what they did to my hand." He's like, "Is that what you said, sis, when it happened?" I'm like, "Fucking Adam, my brother."
I
I'm
mean,
like, "You would say that."
honestly,
I guess
I
it's like when you
would.
stub your toe, like when you see somebody stub their toe or hit
Yeah,
their funny bone, you were even like, "Oh man, that sucks." Even though it's not gonna
exactly.
kill you, and these things actually could kill you. You could bleed out from these.
I know, there's arteries and shit there.
Have you
Bleh.
Yeah. Have you actually
Anyway,
seen the original House of Wax?
no,
Yeah, I don't
I
think I've seen
didn't.
it either. I read a lot of details about it because I wanted to see if it was close to the original, and everything that I read, it's other than there's a guy that makes wax figures, and he's making some of them out of people, it's completely different from what I understand,
Right.
but I wanna tell the listeners, and I know you haven't seen the movie Tourist Trap, and I covered that movie on the podcast. You should watch the movie Tourist Trap, okay? I feel like I feel like this movie, the House of Wax remake, is a remake to Tourist Trap, okay?
Oh,
Tourist
wow.
Trap is
Yeah.
kind of a mix of the original House of Wax with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which just has a little bit of Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes, right? But I feel like this is actually a true remake to that movie, and I'm very curious. I couldn't find any info about the inspiration from the writer, the director, or anything, but I'd love to hear people's thoughts on that. Go watch the movie Tourist Trap if you haven't seen it. It's from the 70s, and it's the same concept, only instead of there being evil twins luring them, supposedly there's only one guy that's luring them in, and I think and me
Okay.
and my buddy that came on, we were trying to decide, we're like, was it only one guy? He says he killed his brother, and did that make him go crazy and start doing this?
Yeah.
Was he multiple personality? It's kind of ambiguous, but they don't
Mhm.
flat out say that there's 2 of them, but it is the same concept of their siblings, and they're in this town, and they're luring people, and they're luring hot young people, and it's from 1979, and like I said, I covered it on the pod, and it was funny because it was one of those movies I loved watching it, and I found it so funny, and then after covering it, I'm like, "Oh my god, that almost ruined it for me," because then I got too analytical. What was going on with this guy?
Right,
Where in
right.
this one, we get a definitive, like, why the twins are the way they are. Like we find out they were conjoined
Yeah.
twins. One
Yeah.
one was disfigured, and he's the one that he's into making the wax figures because his mom would make wax figures, and to him it's like his art, right? He's bringing these in,
Mhm.
and even his brother's like, I'm the next ones I got you. These are really good. They're gonna make it. I don't remember what he's. It's gonna be a masterpiece. He says
Yeah, a
something along,
masterpiece.
yeah, along those lines.
Speaking of the twin that was disfigured, when he would roll up with his wig on, didn't it kinda give, like, Psycho
Mhm.
vibes, like
Psycho,
Norman Bates?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
Tourist Trap has Psycho vibes as well.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Also, going back to that guy, the one twin,
the
it
bad one, Vincent, as in Vincent Price.
Vincent
Vincent Price is
Vincent Price.
the
Yes, yes, yes,
House of Wax. Anyway, okay, sorry.
yes, yes. No, that's okay. When when his face is cracking and he just heats up a spoon and he's like, "Bleh."
Yeah, yeah. He's taking a hot spoon and he's just let me fix. He was like, hey, but you know, he needed to help out the bitches from Death Becomes Her when they're all hot and messy. They're all messy at the end. He
Right?
tried to tell him, look, girl, just
Right?
get you some wax with the spoon. Go.
So hilarious. I was like, "This is so gross." I'm, like, trying to eat my lunch. I'm like, "No, no, no."
Yeah, he
That
was
grossed me
scary
out
looking though.
too.
Even though
He
his
was.
face was kind of blank, it was they did good making him look
Yeah.
scary. And they wouldn't always show him full on. They kind of showed him in shadows at times, and it made it
Yeah.
still scary.
Yeah. No, I agree. Ooh.
But I love the this is another thing I thought about. I'm like, he did really good at making the town like everything movie. And I'm like, did they steal that idea from Home Alone? Remember with Kevin? He's rocking around the
The
Christmas tree
Christmas
and he's holding on to the things making the mannequins move because there's the old lady mannequin looking out the window. I mean, even the
Yeah.
little puppies. Are they puppies, right? Are they puppies or
There were
kittens?
puppies in the window of a pet store. I was like, "Oh, no."
Yeah, I was like, this
Yeah.
is Home
That
Alone-esque stuff right here.
hell yeah, that was so cool. The effects in this movie were really interesting.
Yeah.
I felt like because I didn't see the, tourist trap, this was like a whole new kind of like, at the time when I watched this in 2005, I was like, "This is a whole different kind of special effects and makeup and things like that," which was really cool, and I thought it was very creative how they did that.
Yeah,
Um,
I thought the effects were cool. I'm pretty sure that's I don't have anywhere to verify, but I would assume that's where a lot of the budget went with the
yeah,
fire and the melting wax. It looked pretty realistic. Again, I'm not a
yeah.
expert on effects, but I thought it was cool. There's nothing like that in Tourist Trap. There's no big fire.
Oh,
Um,
okay, yeah.
but it was cool. I read that they used predominantly peanut butter for the wax.
Oh,
So that was like mostly what it is. It was like to make it I don't know how do you say that word? Viscerous?
viscosity,
There you
the
go.
viscosity,
That word
yeah,
that you're
yeah.
saying to give it the right viscosity and to get the right meltiness that they needed, that it was mostly peanut butter that they used, which I would have probably gagged because I can deal with a little peanut I eat a little bit of peanut butter, but I'm one of those people, I don't slather it on my sandwiches. I just
Oh,
put a little
same.
bit.
Same, same. I'm exactly the same. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think it was like paraffin treatment or anything, you know?
I know, that's what it made me think of, like, when I used to go to therapy for my busted hand, they put your hand in this paraffin wax, right? Oh, you see,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then they'll
yeah.
take it off because it warms your hand up so much so I could do, like, my movements, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't even think about paraffin wax.
You go get a manicure, like, in the early 2000s, they love
Oh,
that so much. I remember getting
right.
it, be like, "Ooh, yay."
I forgot. Yeah, I know when I would leave, I was like, one hand was all soft and the other one was all rough.
Yeah,
I didn't really did
exactly.
my one hand.
Yeah, that was so funny. That's what I was thinking. I was like, "Is this paraffin?"
Yeah.
Could you imagine? That'd be the whole budget just on paraffin
Yeah.
treatments for the
But they'd all have
cast.
great skin.
They would, even if they're dead in the movie theater, you know? Totally worth it.
Yeah.
So funny. What did you think about this soundtrack?
Oh my god, you read my mind. I was just gonna ask you. It was pretty cool. It was very
Oh, good.
2000s. There's a lot of again, very 2000s, like the velour tracksuit or
Yes.
the low-rise jeans. Thank
Oh,
goodness those are pretty much gone. I'm too old for low-rise. I was never into them when they were around, but you couldn't find
yeah,
anything
same.
else but them. I thought it was
Yeah.
cool. There was some Deftones. Was there Manson? I can't remember who else.
Yeah, I have a list. It
Okay.
it was Prodigy featuring Juliette Lewis, My
Okay.
Chemical Romance, Deftones, Disturbed, Shutterfly, Blood Simple, Marilyn Manson, The Stooges, The Von Bondies, Harmar Superstar, Joy Division, and Dark New Day.
Ooh, I don't remember Joy Division being there. Okay.
Yeah, Joy Division. Yeah, it's New Dawn Fades. That
Okay.
song. Yeah, and this movie opens with Deftones. And fun
Mhm.
fact, Deftones were my first concert when I was 16.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think I've
So I
ever
was like,
seen
yeah. Oh, they're so good.
I
I
love no,
still
I
love
know who
them
they I
to this
love them.
day.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think if I've ever seen, I went to so many shows in the 2000s. In my 20s,
Yeah, right.
where I live, they just had a huge rave in San Bernardino. They have whoever the one guy is that does, like, all the big raves now. Pasquale Rotelli, I'm probably butchering his name, the guy that used to be married to
Oh.
Girls Next Door. Oh my god, I'm going off on a weird tangent.
Oh,
Anyway, the
no, that's okay.
Wonderland tour, he puts those ones on in Vegas and now here, and we have like a venue that's really known for having those, and they also have concerts and shows, so I could be living in
Nice.
SoCal, like, there's constantly shows in I don't live far from San Diego, Palm Springs, LA, so I'm like,
Yeah.
"Did I see the Deftones?" Because I go to a lot of festivals. I used to go to Coachella when it was affordable, which is happening this weekend.
Oh,
It's
wow.
ridiculous how much
Yeah.
it is. I'm like, I look at the prices, I'm like, "Yeah, right."
Yeah, I saw them at Asbury Convention Hall, and
Mhm.
the ticket was $15.
Oh my god, can you imagine? You could have, like, that doesn't even cover the Beachy Ticketmaster fees now, like,
I know, it's
ridiculous.
wild. Yeah, so when I still listen to them, and when I heard them Minerva at the opening, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
memories.
Nice.
This
That's
is
a cool
so
first concert.
good."
I saw Boys to Men.
Did you?
Boys to Men, Aaliyah, and TLC, yeah. Oh,
Their
Babyface.
I mean, I
Talented
really
still, yeah.
liked
I like everything.
TLC. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I do too. I like a lot of music. But yeah, this soundtrack was so good, and My Chemical Romance is peak early 2000s, with the tight jeans and the swoop hair, and Jared Padalecki's hair was terrible in this movie, by the
Oh,
way. Speaking of
yeah,
hair,
yeah. It was terrible. I mean,
it was
it
so
took it a while on
bad.
Supernatural to get it correct too. I mean, before, yeah,
Yeah, I'm on season 4 and it's still not there,
yeah.
it's a work in progress, but yeah. Another thing I wanted to bring up, I thought it was interesting that Chad Michael Murray was cast in this movie because he was in teen movies and shows, but always very drama and will the girl get the guy kind of type of movie. So this was
Mhm.
interesting seeing him in a role like this.
Yeah, he was trying to
Did you
just
think
fit a bad boy or whatever.
so? Mhm.
Which I don't know, he came off like a wannabe to me, but it was cool. I think he was trying to break
Well,
out of his other type of roles, so
if that furthers my point, because at one point he's like really trying to act like a badass, and I I verbally said, "Sit down, Timu Eminem." Like, come on.
that's a good
Because
way to put it.
his head shaved and he's blonde, and I was just like, "No, okay, go
Yeah,
back to One Tree Hill and cry over your girlfriend breaking up with you,
yeah.
okay?"
I don't think I ever watched One for You. I think I wasn't around for that one. I mean, I remember seeing the
Yeah,
trailers and stuff, but yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
it was
think
weird. He didn't come off to me as the bad guy that he's supposed to have been, like, he just got out of jail or something. I was like, "Yeah, whatever." He came off like a wannabe, but that was a perfect way to put it.
exactly.
Timu Eminem. Oh my
That's exactly what he was. I was just like, "You're not doing it for me with your bad boy vibe." He could never be Zeke from The Faculty. He can't be
no.
that level of bad boy. It was interesting seeing him in a role like this, but I felt like it was very gimmicky for him,
Mhm. And I get it,
you
because
know?
some actors try to do that. They're typecast in the same role so much that they're like, "Let me show I
Yeah.
have these other chops," but now, like I said, he's working the Lifetime movie, I think Bad
Exactly, like
Christmas movies. He's come full circle. He's what
yes.
he used to be. What she
The drama, and then he tried to do the horror badass thing, and now he's back to worse drama,
Yeah, yeah.
like, so wild, but yeah, that was so funny. I don't think I ever watched One Tree Hill, but I did watch Gilmore Girls with Jared Padalecki.
I know, I've never watched it. I hear it's like for women, it's like an addicting show. They're like, "Once you start watching it," I'm like, "Nope." Nope, I don't have time. I have enough gothic. I have enough horror movies to watch. I can't even go
Exactly.
on right now.
Right, right.
Did you like the
So funny.
twist? We were talking about the creepy driver going back to him that they hitched a ride with, and he drops him off, and that's it. Or they don't even take him the whole way. Don't they eventually finally get the bad vibes and they hop out?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, we find out at the end, right? Because essentially everybody gets killed. Paris Hilton gets killed. Her boyfriend gets killed. Dalton gets killed. The only two to really survive. We don't have a final girl. We end up with final boy and girl, final twins, which I crack up because I didn't even remember that they're twins and twins, right? They're insinuating there's a
Right.
bad twin and a good twin between Chad Michael Murray and his sister Carly, right? So Nick and Carly.
Yeah.
They're insinuating Nick is the bad one. He's the Timu Eminem, as you called him. She's the good one. She's got this internship that she's gonna go to.
Yeah.
So they're insinuating they're bad and good, but in the end, there's these other two twins, and it's kind of they're playing it off like one is good initially, right? He's just helping out this,
Yeah.
he's helping him out, he's gonna give him a fan belt. But really they're both bad. So we have these two
Right.
twins, they're playing off of that. We have the bad twins, but then at the end we get the twist after they survive, they set everything on fire, they kill the bad twins, the good twins survive. They're in an ambulance, and then they find out, they hear the cop saying, like, man, we wouldn't have even found you. We didn't know this town has been here. It's been here for years. And I'm paraphrasing, of course. The
Right,
only reason
right.
we found you guys was all these billowing flames because they started this fire. And then they're like, but wait a minute. There was a third brother. And then that's when they drive by in the ambulance and you see the roadkill driver,
And he's like,
yeah, he's just like, hi. He's just like all waving at him,
"See
like,
y'all later."
yeah, he's just like,
Yeah.
"Doo-doo-doo, let me give you a little wave. You guys are lucky you survived." It was like, oh snaps. There was a third brother. So I thought it was a fun twist. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I kind of assumed he was related somehow, but I was like, "Okay, he's a brother, but where was he in the beginning?" So, I guess he was the younger brother?
Maybe.
Youngest,
I don't think
maybe?
they don't show him in the flashback probably because the beginning of
Yeah.
the movie opens up with a flashback scene of us
Right,
seeing the
right.
two brothers when they're little, and we're seeing the one brother again, they're playing it up. The one brother's calmly eating like his cereal, and the other one's like, ah, and they have to strap him
Yeah.
into his
His high
high
chair.
chair. Yeah, it's like
It
they
was
were mean to
intense.
him. Granted,
They were
he was a piece of work, but I don't know if he deserved to get treated the way he was getting treated
No.
either.
No, that was so sad. Yeah, I like that twist. I thought it was cool. I kind of assumed he was related somehow, but if you don't think about it too much, yeah, it works. He was the brother,
Yeah,
like if you don't think
I'd
about it too
forgotten
much.
about that character because it'd been a couple years since I watched it. So when I rewatched it, saw at the end, I
Yeah.
go, "Oh yeah!" Like that. Even guess you could argue you could leave it open for sequel, but I don't think they need a sequel. I thought this was just like a nice, fun. It's not a fantastic movie. It's not a bad movie. I think I'm a huge like that's my favorite genre. I just love
Yeah,
slashers because that's
me
how I
too.
got into horror. Right? We grew up with Jason
Yeah,
and Freddy and Michael
yeah.
Myers. It's a fun slasher. Yeah,
I agree. I really enjoyed it. If I were to rate it up 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 7.
yeah. I think I'd probably give it like a 8. I think the only thing, my only biggest qualm with it is it was a little too long. They could have cut out like
Yeah.
we didn't need the cafe or the diner scene. It's like there was character development that we didn't really need. It was like they're friends. Let's move on and let's get to the camping.
Yes. Yeah, I felt like that took forever, and that's why I gave it a 7. I'm just like,
Gotcha.
the almost 2 hours is way too much for a movie like this.
Yeah. I'm always
Way
gratuitous on my scores though, because I just love scary movies.
No, I mean, I do too, but yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed it. I forgot how much I liked this movie.
Yeah.
It was really great rewatching it and going back to my emo days.
I feel like Joe
Love that
Bob
for
right now.
me.
I'm like wearing my Monster
Oh.
Vision shirt. And look, I gotta show you. Look at my monster, my toy. Paul got me this for my
Oh,
birthday. So
I
people see it on
love
video.
that.
If you're a fan of Joe Bob Briggs, shout out
Yes.
to him on Shutter. He's
Legend.
leaving Shutter. They had the last drive-in. He's got a few specials, and then I think he's getting picked up
Yeah.
by another network. But I love this toy. He's like glow in the dark. I'm wearing your shirt. I
So
sent you a shirt for your
adorable.
birthday. You gotta wear it.
Yes. Yes, and you sent me this shirt for my birthday too, and thank you so much. I love
Yeah.
Scream, and one of my favorite movies ever, so I really
Yeah.
appreciate
I thought you'd like
that.
it.
Yay!
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm glad. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think anything else?
It was good times.
Yeah. Yeah. Check it out, guys. I think it's a fun watch. Like I said, it's a bit long, but it's definitely a fun slasher.
Yeah, definitely, and Wade, Wade is to blame.
He
Like, who?
he needed his brother with him. He needed
Right?
Jensen Ackles,
Yes.
who I really love
Ooh,
from Supernatural.
I love Jensen Ackles. He's a whole mood. He's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was so much fun. I'm really glad you picked this one. So that brings us to the end of today's episode. If you enjoyed listening, the best way to support the show is by subscribing and leaving us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. It really helps more people discover the show. You can also follow us on Instagram and visit our website. Links are in the show notes. If you'd like to support the podcast even further, you can donate to our Buy Me a Coffee Fund. Your support helps keep the show going and means more to us than you'll ever know. And most importantly, thank you so much for spending your time with us and listening to our shit talk here.
Yeah, our
About
shenanigans,
movies.
essentially, yeah.
For shenanigans,
We
yes.
hope our dialogue wasn't too dreadful for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, with that, everybody, thank you guys again for listening, and have a good one.
Bye.
Avoid peanut butter. I'm gonna go get my paraffin wax on now.
Yeah. Get your paraffin done.
There we go.
Bye.
Bye.